A story that we did in the first hour, which we are definitely returning to, is the one involving Nigel Farage. Now, he's expected today to launch the private prosecution against two men allegedly involved in a brawl at Manchester Airport in July, which then led to protests against police brutality. You may recall that incident, as I say, in July. The Reform UK leader will make his announcement as he accuses the government of allowing two-tier policing. Liam Kotrie is a legal commentator and director at the Mary Monson Solicitors firm and joins me now. How rare is a case such as the one that Nigel Farage appears to be bringing, and what are the mechanics of it? How does it proceed? Morning, Liam.
Morning. It's very unusual for people to bring private prosecutions. One of the reasons that there are several hurdles to overcome, and they're quite high hurdles. First of all, one can't just apply to the magistrates' court themselves. One needs to hire a solicitor. Now, in this case, it seems Nigel Farage has hired two solicitors, much better than one, no doubt. And once someone has investigated that, they need to gather all the evidence. Now, Mr. Farage has to gather evidence which the police will have. This is an ongoing investigation. Once you apply to the magistrates' courts with your case, then the magistrates decide whether or not there is a case to answer. If they feel there's a case to answer, then the case can proceed. Now, even once it's proceeded, if the CPS, who must have then decided that there is no case to answer from their point of view because it's their investigation to start with, then they can take over that prosecution if they want to, and they can continue it themselves if they then feel there's merit to do so. But if they don't feel there's merit, they can still take it over and they can stop the investigation in its tracks, taking it out of the hands of the person privately prosecuting it.
If the magistrates, if he gets the go-ahead, do GMP, a Greater Manchester Police, do they have to turn over what evidence they might or might not have upon request?
Certainly not, no. This would be an investigation that Mr. Farage himself would have to undertake. Now, that would mean taking statements from police officers who have already been questioned by their own force to see whether or not an offence has taken place, no doubt cooperating fully after they were allegedly assaulted. And like you say, we can't comment on the case itself any more directly than that.
So is there an idea of a timeline on how long this might take, Liam?
Unfortunately not. We heard Richard Tice complaining about it taking 4 months. Well, unfortunately, I deal with cases that sometimes take years to get to court. We heard about two-tier justice system there, about the riots that took place. Well, that was about the fabric of society falling apart over a space of 3 days. Something had to be done quickly, and we're all a lot safer for it. Two-tier policing, well, is that really a thing? One may think it's hypocritical for Mr. Farage to talk about the police and criticise them when they're taking too long to investigate this particular situation. When he was, when he's protecting police, in this situation, or seemingly, when he's criticising them and spreading misinformation after the Southport killings. Whose side is he really on?
Lastly, and again, just an independent comment on this, Liam, are you surprised we've had nothing since this? The event, whatever did or did not take place, was the end of July. How surprising is it that nothing's happened as a result of that?
I'm afraid not very surprising. The criminal justice system is broken. A complete lack of funding in the system, whether it's police, whether it's a Crown Prosecution Service, whether it's the legal aid system. The whole situation is falling apart. Again, my clients sometimes wait years to find out if they're going to be charged, and then the victims on the other side also waiting years. We hear about rape cases all the time taking years to get to court. By that time, do the victims really want to continue with that, go through the trauma of giving evidence in court? It's all about money, Nick, and it's just not being paid into the system. Labour are doing the same what the Tories did before. There's just no money in the system, and it will only get worse. Courts are closing. They're working 4 days a week. The backlogs are years back. Post-COVID, post-legal aid cuts, it's in a real state. It will take a generation to fix.
Grateful for your time today, Liam. Thank you. Liam Kotrie, legal commentator and director of the firm Mary Monson Solicitors. Calls coming in on that, but let's go to Adrian. He's been hanging on the line some time. Adrian's in